My first guest is a fan of food being a grand experience. Well, Julie Biuso is a culinary wonder woman. She's also fallen under the spell of another super chef. How are you?
Hi, good.
Jamie
good.
Oliver, I believe. You rather enjoyed the show.
Yeah, it was fantastic. In fact, Susan, I went home and my jaws were aching. I don't think I've laughed so much in a long time.
Which brings food into that whole performance thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can't say for me that I learnt a lot about food that particular evening, but I think it's inspiring to a lot of people just to see something done very quickly. But it was a show. It was really good fun. Yeah.
Talking of moving and changing you, the new book, Dancing on My Table, is a real shift for you too, isn't it?
It is. It's really taken me out of the mould of being just a recipe writer. It's a little bit of an opening out, I guess, and I've always been known for being very honest, perhaps too frank at times. So it's really a continuation of my personality, and it is a change.
Well, it's brave because you're saying this is me. This is who I am. You know, my father said I was a very determined young woman, and now you put yourself there.
Exactly. Well, you know, I've got nothing to hold back, and I think when you write something like this, you do control what you put in the book. It's not an autobiography. It is semi-autobiographical in parts, but I do kind of drift off into just food passions or people I've met and things like that. So it's sort of it's a book you can dip into and take a little chunk out of at a time, as opposed to something you have to read from, you know, from the beginning to the end and don't feel satisfied until you reach the end.
So is this a sort of a new path, I guess, for you in terms of writing, and we're going to see you moving into that genre more?
Yeah, I think so. Food literature is very popular around the world. It's a fairly recent change, I guess. Maybe in the last 10 years it's become a lot of people buying it. A lot of people want to know a lot more about your personal opinions about food as opposed to just straight recipes. So it's very opinion driven, and that's something I want to develop more and go into a bit more.
Why do you think that is? I mean, it's very personality driven too, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you know, people want to know what you really think about something. Remember, say, if we go back 25 years ago, recipes used to be very bald. You had the ingredients, the method, bung it in the oven, cook it and serve it.
You wouldn't even know who'd written them half the time.
No, you didn't. They were
totally
bland. And then we started to be a little bit bold, you know, and put in the introduction and a little bit, I cooked it for my mum, or I got the recipe from my mother-in-law, or whatever. And I was certainly very keen on doing that, and I put a lot of myself into those introductions. Well, really, this is just an extension of it. So people want to know more about the background, why you want to cook it, what you feel about food. And that's the movement, I think, today, is to understand a bit more about people who are involved in it.
So why is the book called Dancing on My Table?
You haven't read it.
No, I haven't. I've skimmed it.
Okay, well, dancing
if I tried to read every book of the author I write, I'd be reading a book a day.
Oh, it'd do you a lot of good. Dancing really captures the energy of the writing, and it captures that sort of passion, that movement. I talk a lot about music, and I find that often when I cook, I have music on, and it just became a thing that went together. And trying to find a title for a book which sums up something of your personality, something of the energy or the vibrancy, it's quite challenging, and you've got to sort of sit down and just think about what are the things you're trying to say. We had to have a subtitle to say that it's perspectives on food, so that people would know that it is not just about dancing and music. And it just seemed to be perfect to have something that expressed all of those kind of emotions.
You have brought in for us today some of the props of when you look closely on the cover, you see them. There's some significance in some of these, aren't there?
Oh, very much so. Yeah, well, the lovely skirt which we've used as a background on the book, although it's red on the book, it's actually hot pink. And that's interesting. Hot pink jackets on books don't sell very well to men, so you're better to have a red, which is kind of represents passion, fire, heat, energy, all those kinds of things.
What's wrong with them? Hot pink's a fantastic colour.
I love it. I adore it.
I don't know. The shoe for the dancing.
The shoes for the dancing. The mask for the Venetian mask. Well, obviously it's a bit of a unveiling for me, a bit more personality coming out.
So the mask coming down.
Yeah, yeah, we're dropping the mask. Just to let you know that we've got our food in the book. There's a knife and beautiful old bone-handled fork in there as well. And it just sort of went on from that. And you give those things to the designer, Christine Hansen, and she ran away and put them all together and came up with the cover of the book, which I'm really thrilled about.
Again, it must be an interesting thing. You sat, goodness knows when you do it. You do it between about midnight and 2 a.m. when you've got spare time. But anyhow,
just about.
Whenever you're sitting at your laptop and typing away, I can imagine the end result must be quite a wonderful thing. This actual book that comes out of the process.
It's a little bit spooky doing something like this for the first time because usually for me, I'm writing copy to a little, you know, it has to fit in a box, so many words, and I know exactly how to fill that space. I know the rules, and you bung it off, and, you know, away it goes, and it's in print.
You've broken the rules now.
Oh, yeah, with this, there was no limitation. I could write whatever I wanted. I could say whatever I wanted. And it was spooky because to go back in time to childhood, to through sadness, loss of loved ones, to go through happy times as well. Your emotions are just all over the place, and it's a very interesting experience to go through. A little bit spooky at times, but very rewarding when you've written it and you think, okay, and then you send it off to the agent and wait for the phone for him to say, start again. But he didn't.
I bet he didn't say that at all. I guess when you look back, one of the most significant things that I guess would have been meeting and marrying your Italian husband. Yeah, that's had a huge impact.
A very big event in my life. Yeah, very lucky. Just that I met him, I loved the food, and Italian food was something I was very fond of anyway. His family really welcomed me and didn't really mind too much when I took him away from Italy to New Zealand. They understood my need for that, and he's been here now since 1978. So.
And you have Kiwi kids?
Well, yes,
Kiwi Italian?
Yeah, Kiwi Italian. When they're in New Zealand, you look at them and people say, well, they really look Italian. You take them over to Italy and they say they really look New Zealand. So they're sort of half and half, but we gave them Italian names so that they would keep that identity, which I think is really quite important. Yeah.
So what's the next project?
Well, a couple more cookbooks just to, you know, pay the bills, and who knows after that. I mean, it's just whatever I feel like writing. That's the freedom of it. One
of the pieces I did read in the book, because I have skimmed it, which was very true, was you are one of the favourite people on breakfast because you do always turn up with lots of food.
Look, that's the secret to longevity on TV. Take food with you.
Well, you know, when you've got up at that ungodly hour, it's like, oh, Julie's day, how wonderful to turn up.
Yeah, well, the thing of food, I mean, through the camera, of course, you're only getting the visual thing, but when you're around people and you've got the smells and the aromas, and I think at that early in the morning, I couldn't be so mean just to, you know, describe food and not actually take anything in there. I've got to take it in there.
The other good thing is, of course, you have extended Mike's palate enormously. You've got him eating a whole range of food I don't think I've ever eaten before. That
truly was a great challenge, but it seems to be working. He is long, you know, the fish fingers, I think, are long gone.
That's right, it was, wasn't it?
It was a couple of years ago, yeah. No, he's into stir fries and all sorts of things. He's good.
Oh, Julie Biuso, nice to see you. Good luck with the book.
Thank you, Susan.